loud. Oh, I hate when it does this. All right, hold on, enter. And sorry for those watching via YouTube. We are doing our normal new dance with Facebook changing things on Zoom, so I apologize.
Technology is wonderful, but sometimes it just takes a little while to set it up.
Yes, and now it makes me type the description before I even connect to Facebook. So it's like I have to type
It's all good. It's all good.
right? Oh,
Gives us a little bit more free time to just chit chat and let people know we're here. Gives people a chance to get on Facebook Live that are joining with Facebook Live.
That's it. Which I think we have made it on.
Yay! Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Mother's Day. And welcome to my partner in crime, Reverend Jamie.
Thank you. And good morning, everyone. And happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Marianne.
Thank you. And I will apologize in advance. I have a very vocal four-legged furry upstairs who has decided that he wants to be heard. So we've closed the door, and I trust that he will not interrupt our morning at least too much. And today is just one of those days. It's Mother's Day, and we accept as a mother, we accept our children through the good, the bad, and the ugly.
That is it. And all their interruptions that they don't really seem to care about.
Exactly. It's like, don't you know, mommy is busy? And that's what we want to talk about today is the beauty of motherhood. Our theme this month is beauty, and motherhood really is a beautiful journey through all of it, through the pain of labor and childbirth, right through to having adult children or almost adult children who we sometimes want to wring around the neck. We do it love. All of those emotions come in love. So today, before we get started, as we always do, let's just center ourselves in a blessing. And as we're just kind of calling in our space and gathering, whether you're joining us live, whether you're listening to a recording later today on Mother's Day or any day, because every day is Mother's Day. Let's honor our mothers, those who are here, those who have passed, honor those who in our lives are not our biological mothers, but who have served a maternal role in our lives. And also, as we gather, let's also remember those who today are suffering because they're missing their mother. And there are many of us who are missing our moms. Let's just call in the spirit of that wonderful being that gave us life, whether we knew her or we didn't know her, but that beautiful being who gave us life and nurtured us for 9 months inside of her own body, the ultimate sacrifice. So just holding that energy and knowing that today we're talking about beauty, I encourage you and invite you just to think about nature. Think about the beautiful buds that grow on a tree at the beginning of spring. And they're all closed, and I see them just tightly closed and encapsulated, and you don't know what is within. And over time, as we nurture them through watering, we nurture them through food. I'm hearing a rose. I'm seeing a rose. And water your rose bush and you give it nutrients and the sunlight and the vitamin D and the air and the environment. And as it's nurtured by nature and by the humans that tend to it, it blossoms into this beautiful, bright, gorgeous thing that we use to decorate our homes, that we look at and just, it smells so delicious. And so too is the journey of motherhood. It's a seed that's planted and it grows through nourishment, through love, through care, through self-care of the mother. Sometimes not even understanding or knowing what she's nourishing. And it grows and it blossoms and it's birthed into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful divine being. These divine beings that go on and then continue that cycle, that beautiful cycle that is life, that is love, that is joy, that is trust that tomorrow is going to be brighter, if not for us, for someone else. So as we tap into the beauty, we also tap into the gratitude for all the beautiful gifts of the mothers here, the mothers who have gone onto the other side, and the mothers who don't even understand the gifts that they've given us. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Blessed be. And I have to move my light real quick because I'm scorching my cornea right now.
That's not good.
There we go.
That's not good. So I just wanted to, I know we decided we would talk about the beauty of motherhood. So, Jamie, talk about the beauty of motherhood for you and what it has meant for you, the journey of motherhood.
So much. So much. And it is a beautiful journey. It's such a journey of learning yourself as much as it is, for me anyway, like learning myself as I am responsible for this being that I created. And the beauty of finding the balance of discipline and guidance and letting him be his own person and not making him be what I want him to be or think he should be. I have lots of people that had different opinions because I homeschooled an only son, or my only child, and how I was going to mess him up and all, just different things. And the beauty of the boundaries that I learned for myself and knowing what's right and best for him and, seeing the results of that, trusting myself, me and Marianne are of the crew that our mothers are no longer here in the physical, and I lost mine when my son was 2. So, really raising him on my own without, not having my mom to ask things and just, family dynamics, although not bad, just the way it plays out in my life. Like I had no one to, seek guidance from in that sense, that I could just pick up the phone and call. I mean, which in reality, please know, Marianne would answer my calls. She would answer my calls.
But there's nobody like your own mom.
Yeah, just, not having my mama there. And so I giggle because some days I literally celebrate that, like, oh my gosh. Like I did the math and I was like, wow, I was 29 when mom died. And wow, me and my kid have made it, like 16 years and he's still healthy and he's not messed up. And, so, but in that, again, just the beauty of, the unfolding and truly, at least thankfully, and I'm so grateful and I don't take it for granted in my experience, really learning unconditional love, compassion, like a deeper compassion, again, the boundaries, how I grew as a woman and learned how to, put my foot down and hold firm and speak and find my voice. The beauty of, sleepless nights, that, the beauty of finding a way to do it when you had no idea how. Just so much beauty in all the things that I really feel that, for women, and again, it could be any mothering. It doesn't have to be an actual physical child, especially those of us that have animals know that it is just as much waking up in the middle of the night and unexpected. Yes, Marianne is I'm telling Marianne's life story in this chapter, but it is expected vet visits and diagnosis and, you know, things not being, what you thought they would be, and having to shift and move. And then, and even if you are of the non living quote unquote mothers, but the creators, that nurturing and birthing a business or a project, or, and some days, honestly, just birthing and mothering a new normal, and everything that is happening, and the courage and the grit and the grace and the resiliency. I just feel are all such beautiful gifts that come from motherhood on deeper levels that you just wouldn't experience unless you were birthing something and having that, having your baby in whatever form it is, to really nurture, to shape, to hold, to mold, but again, allowing it freedom to be. But motherhood is definitely, my son, I don't like that it's been like this at times, but we're always transparent here, and my son sometimes being the only reason that I would get up in the morning, or I, could push through. And it's not to put that on him, which he never knew, but I think there are truly some days that it's like we can wonder, like, how, I don't know how I'm going to do it, how can I do it, but yet we do it out of the love of that beautiful, thing that we've created, that we birthed. I love the how we always find a way, always find a way. But then also too, the wisdom. I loved how you mentioned, about self-care, because sometimes, mama bears, we we do not always self-care. And I do believe that we're always able to get through, but then the wisdom that comes even when we're able to allow those moments of self-care, to sit back, and even sit back and take inventory of, like, how much you've come through, how much you've accomplished, how much has happened and changed since, I never wanted kids. I just didn't. Never wanted to be married. I didn't want kids. It's just like I was fine. But, it's like I can't imagine my life without my, well, I call it my spawn. So, but my little spawn, my boo bear, and it's just, I'm just so grateful and so much better for it. So it's just been, it's really been that thing that turned my life around. My friends always giggle because I did a complete 180. Like, the moment I found out I was pregnant, I just, like, spun my life around, and I'm so grateful for that. And that the bonus is, the reason why is because I have this beautiful human being that I created, and which fascinates me. Like, I grew that inside of me.
Yeah, and when you're looking at, an almost 18-year-old, and you're like, whoa, and it's the same thing. And it's interesting that, you talked about this unconditional love. I remember at one point going, I don't know what love is. How do I know I love this person? Or how do I know I'm giving enough love? And and the interesting part is, and I've probably shared this before, since you and I seem to have the Mother's Day Sunday, but Krista was my very first Mother's Day gift. She was born a day early on Mother's Day. So, at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, we got to go to the hospital. So my whole Mother's Day was actually spent in labor. She was born at 6:59 p.m. and the doctor said he thought I was probably going to rip his face off if she wasn't born by 7, because he told me she was going to be born before 7. So he was really grateful. It was 6:59.
He was a gambler. He was a gambler. That's what he was.
I had a broken bed. She was pressing on her cord, and they couldn't give me, so I was in natural childbirth with no medication, and I had to lay on my side while I labored, and then when I had a contraction, they had to flip me over on my back, crank up the bed so I could push. So I did that, and it was only an hour. And I know there were a lot of women who push a whole lot longer.
Well, they probably felt
But
like an
because of
eternity.
all of the physical stuff that had to go on, talk about antiquated, you know, and it was like I was too far into it to even try to think about switching beds. So, but yeah, so she was my it was not the most pleasant of Mother's Day, the day she was born, but it was the most blessed of Mother's Day. But on the love piece, I look at all of the things I do and how I just jump to action whenever anything needs to be done. And my needs come second to her needs. And one day, not too long ago, I was laying in bed and I'm going, so that's love. And that really is, that's maternal love. When you put your child first, and when you just do things for your child without thinking, and not to, we're transparent here and not to get too graphic, but when she was sick with her intestinal issue, the gastrointestinal issue the other day, I stood there just like most mamas do, holding the hair back, holding the bucket and rubbing the back and just, it's going to be okay, wiping the face, whatever it took. Because that's what a mama does. And that's maternal love. That is unconditional love when you're not like, oh. It's just, you do. And that's not to say that the mom who gags when she's forced to do that, or the new mom who has the really, really messy diaper, you know, coming out the end, it's like, trying to clean the baby. That doesn't mean you're a bad parent at all.
No, it doesn't. And I remember catching projectile vomit at times. It's like they just start to vomit and you're just like, not on my floor, I just cleaned this.
I catch myself doing that with the dog now.
Yeah.
Come here, come over to the floor as I've got my hand under his mouth. My hands can be washed. They can be sanitized.
Yeah, it cleans up a lot easier.
You do it because you do it. And that really, that is the beauty. That really is the really like knockdown, drawn out, raw beauty of being a mom.
Yeah.
Whether it be a mom to a human, a mom to a pet, or a mom to just the people around you who need you, being that maternal figure. And that's what we celebrate today. In the Catholic Church, Mother's Day is when we acknowledge and celebrate the Blessed Virgin Mary, the epitome of mothers. The mother who, and if you think about the story of the Blessed Virgin Mary, she was, she was a virgin, and she all of a sudden is carrying Jesus, and it's this miraculous conception. And then she marries Joseph, but she's looked at her among her people is like, you've laid with man. And so she's rejected by her people. But it's for the holiest and the most blessed of reasons. And then you think about, and then the beautiful life she and St. Joseph made with each other. And they raised their son, Jesus. And, and the rest is history. But then she's even at Gethsemane when he's crucified. And so she is, if you want to look to a mother who has been through it all, it's the shame of a pregnancy when she shouldn't have been pregnant because she hadn't known man, she wasn't married. It's the challenges of raising a child with a man that she made a beautiful life with, but maybe wasn't true love. We don't know. And then watching the most horrendous things happen to her son, but trusting it all and just going through it, but that mother's heartache. So, if we think about it in that, motherhood is messy, but it's a beautiful messy. And it's just, I think it's the ultimate gift and that we can all have is to be able to call on that maternal instinct. And if you don't have to be a
Mhm.
mom, you
Mhm.
don't have to have given birth
I always
to
think of Mother
experience that.
Teresa. You know, Mother Teresa
Yes,
cared
another
for
one.
so many, you know, and all the children that she cared for, you know, and nurtured and loved. So again, for those of you that, you know, may have trouble connecting to, you know, or wondering how, you know, like I don't actually have a human baby. Think of, you know, Mother Teresa even, you know, and all she did and, you know, the work she did, the children she touched, she raised and and Kimberly said yes, sometimes a beautiful disaster. Or Aaron, I'm sorry, I was reading your middle name, Aaron. My gosh, don't come for me.
And what I think is so true is that, you know, and I think what makes today so hard is there are mothers like you and I, we have our children around and they celebrate us.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have mothers who aren't with us. And so it's a bittersweet day. And then there are women who have wanted to be a mother in some way, shape, or form, and they can't. And it's hard for them too. But we are all, as women and even men,
Mm-hmm.
because we can tap into, just like you and I can tap into our divine masculine and
Mm-hmm.
be that father role, and we do, and we can talk about that at another time.
Mm-hmm.
But we can all tap into that maternal instinct within us, that maternal instinct of care, of caring, of compassion, of just doing it. And that's not to say that a lot of dads don't. I have one particular friend, his wife was diagnosed with cancer when she was carrying their child, who they had tried for so long to conceive. And she decided not to have treatment for her cancer so that they could have this child. But she shortened her own life. And in knowing that she was not going to be around for very long to care for her child, she allowed him to do all the bonding from the very first moment that this child was born. And she passed when that little girl was 2 years old. But she almost divorced herself from any kind of raising of the child because she wanted that father daughter bond to grow as that maternal bond as well. And as sad as it is, it's a beautiful story. And I heard from him today and, you know, just wishing me a happy Mother's Day. And I wished him a happy Mother's Day right back
Yeah.
because today is his day as well. He was mother and father from the very beginning. And that is not to say that M did not have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mother who loved her desperately. She loved her so much, she sacrificed her own life. So, I mean,
I
that's
was,
the ultimate
yeah, I was gonna
maternal
say
love.
that is like the ultimate testament to a mother. You know, like my testament is I was giggling. This is motherhood, and my fingernail polish is like this is what motherhood looks like.
I have to share, this is what motherhood looks like for me right now. After 14 months, I actually have polish on my nail. Talk about a celebration.
I know, right? The yin and the yang. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm going to get my life together and paint my nails today because one thing I do on Mother's Day and my birthday is not a darn thing. Although I love me and Marianne's tradition. Like this is, we giggle because every year we ask, are we doing Mother's Day? And we're like, yeah. For whatever reason. So our tradition lives and I love that like every year we end up with Mother's Day. And yeah, but after this, I do have to sneak in a little bit of work. Not much though. And then it's just whatever I feel like doing, and one of which is going to be my nails because I can't stand looking at them anymore. But I'm going to pamper and level myself today.
Well, and I have my, obviously, I always have my tribute altar here, but Mom is front and center, and not too far behind is Mom and Krista because this is Krista's week as well.
That's right. That's right. Oh,
So Wednesday is her birthday. So we this
yay.
is all about celebration this week. And
Yes, yes. And that's even the perspective I took, you know, for those of us that, you know, some years I don't seem to care how long it's been. There's no rhyme or reason. Some years I struggle and I just miss my mama. Last year I was a hot mess. Like I miss my mama so much. And then this year, because our this week can be a rough week for me leading up to Mother's Day because both of my parents are no longer here, and my dad's birthday is May 2nd, and my mom's heavenly birthday is May 5th, and then there's Mother's Day. So it's usually like this. It's just such a bittersweet week. But overall, I don't know what it was, but I'm grateful that this year was like, no, you know what, you've come so far, and you're doing so good. And it's like I could just feel them, like no sadness, celebration, which, and it's not to knock the sadness, because I've been sad probably more years I've spent in tears than not. So it felt really good that like this year was like celebration. So I love that, you just bringing up that celebration, and why, of course, honor where you are. I survivor's grief is a real thing. And for those of you that may find it hard, and like it's really a deeper struggle, I'm just guided to bring that up, and to say that you can get help for that, because there's sadness, and then there's that whole part of not, because let's face it, a lot of us feel like I can't live, like how can I live without and so please still, know that there can be happiness, and you can be happy, and it's okay to be happy. That's what they would want. At least that's all I can think. I can't think of one
No,
person that
that's
wouldn't want us to not be happy and celebrate.
that is absolutely so important. I do believe that there those who have passed on ahead of us do
Mhm.
not want us wallowing in sadness for them. They want us to celebrate the life that they had and what they meant in our lives, and for us to carry on traditions and to carry on the flame of their love that lives within us. And especially if it's a parent or a child, because there are
Mhm.
lots of mothers out there
Yes.
today who are mourning the loss of a child.
Mhm.
And for those, they're always deeply embedded within you. And
Mhm.
when it's a product of birth, there is also that DNA that's within us. And so they
Mhm.
literally live within you.
Mhm.
And so it's so important to acknowledge the sadness, acknowledge the loss, but live for two,
Mhm.
and live in celebration of why you're here and what they have given you and the happiness. And one of the Jewish blessings is, may their memory be a blessing. And even
Mhm.
before I knew that, I used to say, may memories of happier days bring a smile to your face and ease your sorrow.
Mhm.
And that's what we really have to do, is we have to go beyond the sorrow and beyond the brokenheartedness and find a reason to smile that involves them.
Mhm.
So,
My mama said that reason is food. I can hear my mom like saying, "Food, we're gonna eat." That's why, as you're like saying this, I'm trying not to smirk and laugh, because you're in such this beautiful moment and like sharing so sincerely from the heart. And my mom's like, "Tomatoes, like we're eating, like we're gonna eat." So,
and see, when you're happy and when you're not so lost in the sadness, you get, and that was quite a
that's my fur baby.
that was like the mothers with the tomatoes
We are
trying to get
eating.
in your door.
Everybody's eating a tomato today. Okay, just please eat for me. Eat a tomato. Right, but even that motherhood, that's my fur baby, who I obviously shut the door from the sounds you just heard and could give a who less. He was coming in to be with me.
And
So
so when you allow yourself to hear those messages and laugh through the sad,
mhm,
even if it's laughing through your tears,
right?
sometimes it brings you to a point where you're crying because you're laughing,
Mm-hmm.
which may have started in sadness. So, and it is okay. It is not irreverent at all. And just as I did the last time we met, I pulled one of our beautiful Divine Order of the Sacred Rose stones, and with the tenants on it. And this week's tenant for us too, it fits so well, and it's just been sitting here, and I pulled it. I knew what it was, but the conversation has just taken its own turn. But what is the tenant that we're focused on that's kind of like being highlighted today is I allow immediate forgiveness.
Well, I will forgive
and
my
what
dog.
are we talking about is laughing in spite of our sadness. And so allowing forgiveness for that. It is not irreverent. And that's what our loved ones would want. And that's, just a way to think about the way we live through life is allow immediate forgiveness. Don't carry those grudges. It's too heavy.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to, you forgive. It doesn't mean you forget. It means that maybe you're a little bit more wary of a person, but forgive them. Let them go. Don't let them live rent free in your head. So many of us are allowing too much in our heads, and when we're turning around and we're saying we're overwhelmed, it's like, what can I let go? I can let go of anything I'm holding on to that I'm angry, sad, disappointed, whatever. Just forgive it. Let it go and let it move on. Stop giving it energy in life.
And as you pull up our tenants, I'm going to close my door because I have 2 more fur babies that are trying to alert me they need to go out now. So I just want to shut my door. I will be right back.
All right. And then if you just want to share your screen, I will go ahead and pull those tenants up so we can get started as soon as you're done.
Okay. Are you able to?
Oh, well, you know what? Maybe I can do it.
All right.
All right. And so as we're waiting for Jamie to return, just invite you to just get yourself ready to really let these tenants sink in, and just allow yourselves to feel them and go wherever they need to go within your physical body, within your emotional body. And Jamie, whenever you're ready, you can get us started.
All right. And just placing your hand over your heart if guided. I open my heart with deep gratitude and intend today to master my spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical energies. I am dedicated to my spiritual practice. I surrender to my soul's purpose through sacred prayer. I own my guidance.
I live in partnership with my angels. I serve with a loving heart. I am compassionate in every moment.
I trust it's all good. I allow immediate forgiveness. I honor my truth.
I listen to the spiritual messages within my physical body. I express myself creatively. I am one with Mother Earth. And so it is.
And so it is.
So angels, I wish you much happiness.
Yes.
I wish you a beautiful, beautiful Mother's Day. I wish you love. Jamie, I wish you a feast.
Oh, the tomatoes one can eat.
I will never look at a tomato again. And
I know, like that, and that was my mama. Like that's how she was, so charismatic, but yet so impactful with what may seem the smallest things, like. But now, and perhaps not just you, but many others will think of my mama when you eat a tomato or see it, or anything with a tomato.
And see, when I think of my mom, among the other things, my mom always had to have food piping hot. We used to joke that it was nuclear, and she'd serve it, and it would like basically be on fire still.
You're right. Oh my gosh.
I hope it's hot enough. It's like, Mom, I'm not going to eat it for a half hour. What can I say?
I love that. And now I'm going to think of your mom, I promise you, every day, because my son will heat his food up so hot. I'm like, how can you even taste it? Because I would burn my tongue, the roof of my mouth, and everything else that it touched.
So your nuclear food will remind you of my mom. So
Yes.
we'll be thinking of each other's moms. And to all of you, happy Mother's Day. Remember to treat the special women in your life, the special maternal role models in your life in a special way today, even if it's just simply to give them a kiss on the cheek and say, I love you. And to all of our moms past, we love you, we miss you, and we feel you. And Jamie, anything else to share before we do our closing blessing?
No, just a thank you. I hope you all have a magical Mother's Day. And I'm hearing just live and eat a tomato. Or
I'm going
just
to have a
eat.
tomato now.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. Please, like I say, I beg you all to eat a tomato. I swear this woman's crazy, and I sound probably crazier. Like, I can imagine telling my friends that don't get that, like, we, or at least for me, I can hear. And if I would tell them that my mama insisted we eat tomatoes, then they would really probably lock me up and I get one of them nice little snuggie jackets. Hmm.
You want to close us out with our
Excuse me.
blessing prayer?
Absolutely. So, again, just inviting you to place your hand over your heart and tune in to the joy and the laughter and to just that happiness. And may we go forth throughout this day, throughout this week, throughout the month, throughout the year and beyond, seeing with God's eyes, allowing ourselves to hear with the divine ear, allowing ourselves to speak words of compassion, allowing our hearts to love all those who need, allowing our feet to take us all the places we go, and may we leave a footprint of love. And as the things we touch and we create with our hands, may they too also leave an imprint of love. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
Sorry, I was feeling there was going to be a switch up for this week. So I'm sorry, that's not technically our traditional, but it's en route.
It is what it is. And a prayer does not have to be exactly the way it was yesterday or the way it will be tomorrow. A prayer is simply the words of wisdom coming through our heart.
Yeah. And the one they're emphasizing with me is this week, may you leave a footprint of love, which is also my little, I love that it came forward because it's that's like my own little personal like prayer. It's like, may I leave a footprint of love everywhere I go. So I love that we are all invited to leave a footprint of love everywhere we go, because isn't that what a mother does?
That's right. She does. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. And join us again next week for another edition of Sunday Morning Grace.
Yeah. Be blessed.
Bye.
Bye.